days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. Welcome to the live stream news update episode and Q&A.
True.
So if you got questions, go ahead and start populating the chat right now, and we'll get right into those because that's the funnest part of this. We love answering those.
I mean, listen, yeah, we're getting to news. Obviously, we're covering news and talking about things that are coming out about the 49ers from practice today,
Right.
and all that fun jazz. But at the end of the day, live streams are specifically for a few things. Number one, reactions or breaking information, and number two, and most importantly here on the Cutback, interacting with the Cutback crew.
Yeah.
Which is always one of our more favorite things. Shooter, how you doing, man? What is up, TCC?
What is up, Shooter?
It is glorious times here on the Cutback because Ant, we got Friday Frenzy coming up tomorrow. Lots of great things from talk about a Madden simulation tomorrow.
Woo.
That you don't want to miss a second of, because it is
A jaw-dropping ending.
oh man, it is absolutely incredible. It's just a lot of fun. Tomorrow is going to start off with a bang. That Madden sim is going to be a blast. And then after that, the game preview, which is always a lot of fun. You get all that information about the game plan. Excuse me, not the game plan.
The key matchups.
Key matchups. Your lock it up picks. You know, your bold predictions, and not just the Azorian one, but also another special guest that they're not going to want to. They're not going to miss out on.
You do not want to miss the special guest that's going to be there.
Oh no, it's going to be fun tomorrow.
Oh, it's 100% fun. It's definitely worth it. It's a longer episode than normal.
100%.
But I mean, yeah, from the lock it up part, to the end is something special. So make sure you check it out. But the whole episode is really good.
Oh,
really good.
It's glorious. It's top to bottom. Mwah, and it's absolutely great. And then what's good with Jay in the Bay, which is always a blast here. Is always fun. In all honesty, one of our more favorite episodes that we produce, because it's not us. It's Jay talking with the Cutback crew, talking with the faithful. The Niners Empire.
I really enjoy listening to Jay in the Bay show. I think he does a very good job. I listen to some of his live streams, but I like the What's Good that comes on our channel.
Mm-hmm.
I think he does a fantastic job breaking down his 5 big things. And on traditional platforms, it's been blowing up. People really enjoy it.
That's good.
So hopefully, the people on YouTube will also pick up on the fact that Jay is just a good dude.
And he's killing it.
Yeah, and he knows what he's talking about. He does a very good job.
He's doing the research. He gives you the insight into the Bengals. And he gives you, this is the best part, right? Is he gives you that little insight into the Bengals right before Know Your Opponent at the end of the day. And that wasn't even something that when we talked to Jay about doing the show, that it actually like that wasn't a thought process in our head. And then it kind of worked out. He did his What's Good, his very first episode. He broke down and discussed the opponent for the Niners that week, the Detroit Lions. And then we had Know Your Opponent after that. I was like, hey, this works great. It transitions smoothly. You get a little sneak peek insight into your opponent coming up that week. And then, we go over it a little bit later that day with Know Your Opponent. So it's always a good time here on the Friday Frenzy, man. Tomorrow's Friday Frenzy is probably one of the better ones that we put together. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's top notch. I'm excited about it. And tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. Personally, it's going to be an interesting day, but the Friday Frenzy is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited for the 49ers Cutback crew to be able to enjoy it.
TCC, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you're here for all of it, enjoying all of it. T.O. just asked, biggest concern facing the Bengals, Ant?
I think it's got to be Joe Burrow in that receiving corps. Just with the injuries that we have at the cornerback position. If we had Emmanuel Mosley, I'd feel a lot more confident. Then you're just overcoming some, Josh Norman penalties that are coming. But I think in this situation now, you have to worry about Dante Johnson holding up on the outside. Do you have to give safety help continuously? And which matchups do you have to take advantage of? Can you go one-on-one with T. Higgins, or, can you go one-on-one with Jamar Chase? I don't know if you can go one-on-one with Chase. I think in situations they will. And I actually think Dante Johnson is going to hold up okay. But it does make me a little nervous, that situation. Those receivers against what is, pretty much a depleted veteran cornerback group. We do have veterans there, but it's definitely not something that we're excited about as far as the cornerback position.
Yeah. 100% yes, Ant. But let's break down some of this news while we're waiting for the Cutback crew to roll in, and we're waiting for some questions to pop up, Ant. First and foremost, we did have some information in terms of DNPs from practice today for the 49ers. Trenton Cannon dealing with the concussion still, Greenlaw groin, Maurice Hurst calf, Elijah Mitchell concussion knee, cornerback Emmanuel Moseley dealing with the ankle, and Deebo Samuel groin. Now, while Deebo was a DNP, as was D Ford, they were on a side field. So D Ford and Deebo Samuel were on a side field. Kyle also said that they're going to know more about Deebo's status tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so.
That's good.
We'll see if he's able to handle Friday. If he practices on Friday, even in a limited capacity, then he's going to play on Sunday. If he doesn't, it's going to be more up in the air. I think that's when you'll get the official game time decision designation. But also, they're going to put forth, what these players are, their statuses, whether they're questionable or doubtful. If tomorrow Deebo Samuel is listed as doubtful, he probably will not play against the Cincinnati Bengals. If he's listed as questionable, he's going to play. So that is when we're going to find out. We have no idea about Elijah Mitchell. And whenever they're in concussion protocol, there really isn't no updates. But we'll see what Kyle says when he talks tomorrow, if he thinks that Elijah Mitchell has an opportunity to play or not. They'll either rule him out tomorrow or they'll say, hey, we just don't know yet. And it'll coming down until Saturday, the same way it did with Marcel Harris. But I'm cautiously optimistic about Deebo, but I am worried about Elijah Mitchell.
100%, and Kyle's worried about Elijah Mitchell too. He's saying essentially he's not expecting it, but he's holding out hope that something's going to change and that he's going to have him. No Elijah Mitchell would be a huge blow to this 49ers offense and to this team. It wouldn't be great. Let's just put it that way. Going to make things a lot more difficult, Ant. A lot more difficult. Look, there was also other news. The 49ers signed a safety to the practice squad. It was safety Gerard Wilson, and they released Corbin Kafasi, Ant, from the O-line on that practice squad. Not a surprise. I think, with Tony Jefferson release, you needed to go find yourself another safety.
Yeah, you did. You have to find somebody that you can have available if needed. Kai Nakua is injured, even though I know they signed him back to the practice squad again. But you want to make sure you have someone available. And this made sense signing-wise because he played for the New York Jets this year. So you know what that means? He understands this defense already, playing for Robert Saleh. You can bring him in, and he can go in there if you need him. But yeah, you had to get somebody in for Tony Jefferson. Jefferson had already had his opportunities on the main roster. Now you either had to add him to the active roster next time, or you needed to go ahead and move on from him. They chose to move on from him. It's not a bad decision. It's just now you're getting probably a little bit lesser of a player because I actually like Tony Jefferson. Just wasn't able to crack this roster because of injury.
Agreed. Brad Jones asked, what's the Bengals' run defense like, Ant?
Good. They have one of the better run defenses in the league. Where they struggle is pass defense over the middle of the field. So what do you think the 49ers are going to try to do?
What is...
Right now, James is giving spirit fingers.
Okay. What is completing passes over the middle of the field?
Jimmy Garoppolo's favorite thing to do.
Oh, okay. How many points was that worth?
None, because that's a layup. Maybe 100. I'll give you 100. 100
points?
Yeah.
So like 5 yards? Okay. So just moved 5 yards down the field.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Nice hint.
That was... You and I know what I'm doing, but it's fine. Okay. I mean, look, yeah, this is part of the reason why that they've stacked the box. I mean, this is a team that you talked about, box of Bengals. This is a team that has loaded the box up consistently, week in and week out. And Luke Luna with a $2 super chat, Burrow 2 picks, Ward and 27 or... Does it say or moron/Norman? Oh, I like it.
So he's saying that Ward's going to get one, and then either Dante Johnson or Josh
Norman
or moron.
He's getting moron/Norman.
Norman, I give it. Are going to get the other one.
He took the names of the letters of Norman and rearranged them to make moron.
Yeah,
that's totally what he did because he's not calling him a moron. No way. Because of the holdings.
His words, not mine.
That's true. It's Luke's words.
It's his super chat. He can do it.
It is his super chat. It is his. But no, this is what you talked about with the Bengals in the box. They have loaded the box up to try and eliminate and slow down that run game for teams. And they've had a lot of success doing it, but it has opened up a lot of weaknesses in other areas. They're also, injured. They're injured at the cornerback room with the Awuzie not being available. They got a linebacker that's also out, which doesn't help.
And some D-line.
They got a D tackle who's out with an illness currently, and Joe Mixon who's still dealing with an illness. Now, I haven't read anything about it being COVID related. I don't think it is because they would be on the COVID list. They would have already tested positive for it and would be, going through the COVID protocols in order to get healthy. So this could be something else, and if it is, it's persisted now since Monday, and this is something that's lasted all the way up now through this week on Thursday. There's no guarantee that they're going to be able to shake this. I imagine they're going to play through it unless it's something serious.
Yeah, and I seen that Malik Evans says they have to establish the run first to exploit the pass. I believe it's going to be a little bit inverse this week.
I think so too.
I think they're going to establish the pass and then, to kind of set up the run, especially with the questions at the running back position, whether that's Elijah Mitchell or even Jeff Wilson Jr. dealing with the knee. You can't go in there and have JaMychal Hasty, carry the brunt of the load. Are you going to have Brian Hill go out there, and go get 10, 15 carries in his first game at the 49ers? Not sure. If Elijah Mitchell's playing, I think they'll probably run the football more than they would if he's not playing. But I do think this is a week where Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have to win consistently. They're going to throw early on in this game, and then hopefully they get enough of a lead, even a 14-point lead, and then they turn it over to the run game and really beat this Bengals defense up. But you have to kind of stretch them out a little bit.
Definitely do. T.O. had asked also who's the starting running back for the 49ers. If Elijah Mitchell is, in fact, doubtful and not trending towards playing, then it's going to be Tasty Hasty.
You think it's going to be Tasty Hasty, not Jeff Wilson Jr.?
That was me working early on that was my idea working earlier in this week, knowing what we knew about his knee. But Kyle came out today and did say that Jeff Wilson's knee is fine right now. It acted up on Sunday. So I think Jeff Wilson is the starting running back, but I think you're going to get a heavy dose of both guys.
I think it's going to have to be, especially on third down. You're going to see JaMychal Hasty playing a lot on third down. He's the third down back. That's where he's successful. And I think it's also going to be determined by what type of offensive set you're in. And when you're in the shotgun, you can play JaMychal Hasty a lot more. You can run the zone plays out of the shotgun for him. That's where he's going to live. And his skill set, provides you opportunities to do that. When you're talking about Jeff Wilson Jr., he's more of a banger. He runs angry. He runs physical. He's going to set the tone using his shoulder pads. But I worry about him getting to the edge. Even though he did get to the edge in Seattle, I worry about him getting to the edge consistently, especially if the knee is bugging him any. But I think Jeff Wilson Jr. is the starting running back. JaMychal Hasty is a third down back. And then Brian Hill is your emergency guy in case, Jeff Wilson Jr. needs a break. But I don't think you want to give JaMychal Hasty, 15 carries in this game. I think it needs to be 10 or less.
Agreed with you there. Jag, hello, hashtag TCC family. How are you doing? 2 questions. Honest answers, Ant. If Trey would have played from day one, what would our record be? And if we ended up 8-9, will we be in the playoffs?
First off, if Trey would have played from day one, I have no idea what our record would have been. I don't think anyone can actually project that because we don't know how he would have played. We don't know how he would have progressed during the season, and there's nothing that we can say. Well, it's like Jay in the Bay said, we'll never know. That's just kind of how it is.
The only thing I can guarantee is that the Niners probably don't start off 2-0. There's a good chance they win their first game against Detroit and then don't win against the Eagles, who have a great front, and it was going to be on Trey to have to pass.
I just don't know.
You don't know, though.
I mean, it's a guess. Literally,
it's a guess.
It's a complete guess.
It's a guess.
Yeah.
It's a guess.
Just like people that are saying that if Trey plays in this game, the Niners will for sure win.
Well, just like the people.
How do you know? Have you seen Trey playing at practice? Have you seen him playing at practice, Alex?
I don't think anyone's seen him doing anything at practice.
Yeah.
No one actually knows anything.
No.
About where Trey Lance's development is.
The only ones that know are in the building.
Yeah, it would be Kyle Shanahan, Trey Lance, and everybody else.
Mike McDaniel, the quarterback coach.
Trey seems very excited on the sidelines, so I think everything's going pretty well.
Trey Lance is just a great individual.
The ultimate team player.
He is an awesome person. I'm looking forward to the day that he is quarterback 1 for San Francisco.
100%. It's not right now, though.
It's not right now.
No, it's not. It's not right now. And then, if we end up 8-9, will we be in the playoffs?
I don't think so.
I think 9 wins is the cutoff. I think the 7th seed will be 9 wins. So if you win 8, you're not getting in.
I think if they go 3-2, I think they'll make the playoffs. So 9-8.
Yeah, that's literally all you have to do through the Niners.
Yeah, luckily for us, the teams behind us we've beaten. So it puts us in a good situation.
The teams behind us have to go 4-1.
And the football team
excuse me. They might have to go undefeated.
And the football team that's ahead of us has some tough games. 2 games against Dallas, and the rest of them are,
It's all NFC East.
Yeah, it's all tough.
It's all NFC East.
It is.
It's all divisional. Yeah, it's all fun stuff in them. Jason Kelly, we got to stop Mixon. Absolutely, we definitely need to slow him down. David Bender, do you guys think the Super Bowl will be Buccaneers against New England?
No, because the Buccaneers are going to lose to the 49ers in the play.
I like it, Ant.
Yeah.
Still in that boat.
Eat it, Tom.
I also don't believe that New England is going to get to a Super Bowl. I know that they're playing extremely well.
Pretty good.
They're playing extremely well right now on the defensive side of the football. I get that. There is one big major difference between these teams, this Patriots team as it's currently constructed, and the Patriots team that went all the way with Tom Brady in his second season. Big difference for me. they don't have that playmaker on the outside. And they had Troy Brown was a very underrated, underappreciated wide receiver in New England at that time, and they just don't have that dude on offense.
And can they beat Kansas City? In the playoffs, it'll be a different type of thing. But if teams have to go through Foxborough, it'll be a little bit tougher. So
also true.
New England's going to be a tough out in the playoffs.
They're not going to be an easy out. They run the football well, and they got a solid defense. That's going to be 100% a very interesting matchup. I can tell you right now that Megan is a very happy person.
Yeah. I'm going to say something real quick to Marketing Pro.
Okay.
Hey, Ramley.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Ramley. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I don't worry about the Rams.
They finally got their first win in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Beating up on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
You know who the Rams don't want to see ever? The 49ers.
Or pretty much anybody that's not the Jacksonville Jaguars at this point. The Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Marketing Pro, good to see you again, man.
Yeah, welcome back.
Let's see what Hasty has. Agreed. Just like we demolished the Rams, Candy, our collectibles. Agreed. I believe we have a tiebreaker against the Eagles, Vikings, Bears. I don't think Falcons or Panthers will be in the playoffs. I'm hoping at least 9-8 record, but 8-9 might be enough to get in.
With the tiebreakers, it could be.
Could be.
I mean, I'm hoping they go 9-8. I think you secure yourself the 7th seed, maybe even the 6th.
Just get 10-7.
Yeah,
10-7 and call it a day.
I'm good with that.
10-win season after the way this season started is a big win for the 49ers.
10 wins for the 49ers usually means a Super Bowl run, right? If you're in the 80s.
It's true. Rams fans spelled it right, at least, with a lowercase r, Ant. Lowercase r. They're not that important right now.
That's true. And there's no such thing as Rams Nation. That does not exist.
No, Rams Nation is not. It's Ramley.
Yeah.
Ramley.
Yeah, Rams.
We know that. We're not even Rams fans.
I believe when it comes to Nation, it's Raider Nation. They kind of own that thing.
Dude, this is what drove me crazy. I think it's Siciliano on Red Zone has been calling every fan base of a team faithful. The Steelers.
Oh, Siciliano's not on Red Zone.
No, Siciliano doesn't do Red Zone.
No,
he does one of them.
No, he doesn't do Red Zone.
I'm pretty sure he does Red Zone.
I watch Red Zone. He does not.
You watch Hansen's Red Zone.
I watch Hansen's.
There's 2 versions of Red Zone.
Why?
I don't know.
Scott Hansen is unbelievable.
I agree with you, but Siciliano does one for whatever dish, I think is what it is.
But why? But why?
Hold on. Did you mean this? But why? But why? No, I know he does the other one. Yeah, no, it's he's been calling them all faithful though, and Steelers, and the Steelers faithful is getting loud at Heinz Field, and it's like, dude, no,
there's one faithful.
No, there's one.
Yeah,
you need to stop that right now. You
need
to stop that right now. How is Belichick a genius? Only having Mac attempt 3 passes, but Jimmy G is a terrible quarterback when he goes 15 of 20. Because the same people who wanted, who just hate Jimmy were also the same people thinking they were going to draft Mac Jones.
I think anytime you win more games than you lose, you're probably a genius, especially when you win Super Bowls. If Kyle Shanahan had already won a Super Bowl, there wouldn't be as many questions as there is right now. Look at what happened to Andy Reid, right?
100%.
Until he won a Super Bowl, every single thing he did was questioned.
He was a bust.
Yeah, he wasn't as good of a coach. Now he celebrated
he won 1 Super Bowl, and now he may be one of the more underappreciated greatest coaches of a generation that nobody, everyone just didn't give him credit.
It's the same thing, right, that happened to Mike Holmgren. Holmgren, before, he's a good offensive mind, but then as soon as he wins the Super Bowl, it's like, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's usually how it works. The Super Bowl puts you in a different category.
Sets you apart.
Yeah, Kyle needs to win one of those.
I mean, I agree with you on that. He definitely needs to win him one. Will it deter my belief that he is a fantastic head coach? No, it's
He'll get it done.
It's not going to shift me one way or another. I'm really worried about our secondary against the receiving core. Agreed, Malik. It's definitely something to be concerned with. But here are the positives.
And I'm worried about the corners. I'm not worried about the safeties.
Not the safeties. Yeah. Tart, Hufanga in certain situations, but Tart and Ward specifically, not concerned with. The nice thing is that the pass rush has been getting there. And look, if you're worried about this cornerback room, I get it.
Yeah.
I completely understand. Don't forget that the 49ers rolling into the 2019 season had an old Richard Sherman coming off that 2018 campaign where people weren't exactly in love and thrilled with Richard Sherman. You liked him there, but they weren't in love with it. And Ahkello Witherspoon or Emmanuel Moseley, I mean, it wasn't good coming into the 2019 season either, and you got it done. Josh Norman has been serviceable. Dante Johnson last week did a great job. And Diamond Noor early in the season did very, very serviceable. And last week had some struggles. I think we might see a mix and match. If DJ starts to struggle, you get him off for a little bit, get Demo in there, get the young legs going, get some juice going. And then if Demo starts to struggle, you go back to DJ and you just kind of let them ebb and flow with the game and how they're playing.
Yeah. I seen it was interesting. David Bender said, if analytics is not to be taken with a grain of salt, why is Belichick a heavy analytics person?
He's heavy analytics on specific things. I don't look at Bill Belichick as a guy who looks at the analytics and decides this is the time to go for it on fourth down. Bill Belichick looks at, games. We've seen Bill Belichick go for it with his team up 3 on his own 30 on 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Rather than punt it away and make a team go the entire length of the field. Analytics would tell you, there's a minute left in the football game. Just punt the thing away and, make them go down and go to overtime. Like you especially if you dominate the game, just go to OT.
Yeah.
You get a better chance of winning if you do that. And Belichick will be like, no, F it. We're going for it right here, and we're going to end this thing. And it's worked for him sometimes, and it's bit him in the butt and other times. Where Belichick is analytical is like calls, like officials. He breaks down officiating crews and how likely they are to call pass interferences, holdings, things of that nature.
That he does in a big way,
and then develops his game. A lot of his game plan is developed off of the opponent's strengths as well as the officiating crew that we have and, what we can and cannot get away with. If we got an officiating crew that calls PIs a lot, well, we might be running the football a whole heck of a lot, or, taking more shots down the sideline, or, rub content, double routes, concepts, things of that nature, especially if the team is prone to, trying to jump read one or whatever it is. Belichick is in depth like that. Like he goes in depth in terms of like the intricacies of the game. I wouldn't say so much like the when to go for 2 type stuff, like
competitive advantage.
Yeah.
That's what he's looking for always, is a competitive advantage. And I think every coach is. Alex, you know this. I'm one of the coaches that was leading the charge and going for 2 all the time. I would just
not punting
and
squib kicking every kick.
And you just take certain parts of the game away. And that's one thing I lived with. And I let my defense play. I made offenses go the full, go 65 yards, whatever it was to score. I have no problems with people trying to find a way. And I think analytics is creeping more and more into the game. It took over baseball, basically, and I think it's creeping into football, and we've even seen Kyle Shanahan, talk about the analytics. I think I have a similar mindset to Kyle Shanahan, is that sometimes I like the analytics where it applies, use it in certain situations, and in others I kind of ignore it. I think if you go completely analytics, you almost become a robot, and you're not, you're not a circumstance to, you're not a prisoner to circumstance and what's going on. I think sometimes you just got to let it play. There is things like momentum, how your team is, playing at that certain moment. So analytics is a part of it, but I don't think it can be fully taken. Every single part of it can be, applied and applicated.
Agreed. I think part of it too, like part of decision making and understanding and knowing when to go for 2, when to go for it on 4th, when to punt. It's flow of the game, right? Like Kyle Shanahan wanting to go for it on that 4th and 1, analytics wise was not. Analytics would have told you not to go for it on 4th and 1 there from your own 30. With you down 7 and you have no momentum. Punt the ball away and try and let your defense do the work. But Kyle believes in his offense. He thought there was enough of a rhythm going that he could get that yard. It's the same thing on that drive. He talked about in his presser afterwards that the thought process was if you're going 98 yards down the field to score a touchdown here at the end of the game, you're going for 2 and putting this thing away because you just marched it all the way down there. Make this team stop you one more time.
Yeah, I was looking. T.O. said Trey package this week. There was some funny comments about leaving Trey's package alone. Trey package this week.
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think Kyle's comments basically have proven that he's not ready to go. And Jack Hammer had a pretty good conversation about this on Twitter, where he was talking. Kyle Shanahan is not saying he doesn't want to use Trey Lance. He's not because he's not ready or he's not able to. He doesn't want to use him in the midst of games and packages because it throws Kyle Shanahan's flow off. And I've seen a lot of people saying, "Well, that doesn't happen to Sean Payton. That doesn't happen to some of the other guys."
Is that an actual argument to make? Has anyone watched the Saints this year?
No, but this year, remember when they had Drew Brees? Now the one that
did they win a Super Bowl?
No, but the one that hated it was Drew Brees, right? Drew Brees hated being off the field.
100%.
But I think that people that that have been play callers know that when you get in a rhythm, you want to stay in that rhythm. And part of that rhythm is knowing what every single one of your players can do, and then knowing how you can use different players to attack. I have been a guy that has used different packages and different personnel groupings. Mm-hmm. It can be complicated. Mine was way more simplistic because I'm not playing at the level or coaching at the level that Kyle Shanahan is, where these guys think at a supreme level. So I can only understand how difficult that must be. So I'm just going to take his word for it, as he's one of the best play callers in the NFL, that if it's throwing him off, I don't want him thrown off. If that means that we have to leave Trey Lance on the sidelines for most of the games and most of the plays, I'm okay with that. But yeah, I don't think we're going to see a Trey package either.
No, it doesn't.
I think there will be some moment in the next 5 weeks where you see a Trey package, but I think it's going to be in a situation where we least expect it.
True. Brad Jones, Kyle said he wanted Demo and Aubrey to really challenge DJ and Norman this week to start. Agreed. I want them to challenge also. I don't expect them to start, but I want them to challenge.
The struggle with them is, we saw it when we broke down the All-22 film, which if you've watched our All-22 film breakdown, you know Demo was struggling again on how to play on the outside, from his alignment, from his drop, from where he is positioning.
Starting with outside leverage and defending the sideline in a cover 3 look, and then giving the guy the outside as he's drifting inside for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, no reason.
The Dwayne Eskridge touchdown, where he's got essentially man coverage. Russell starting to break the pocket, and rather than press to Eskridge and be there right as the ball is, released, and he's laying off and then trying to, come up and dive at Eskridge's feet instead of just wrapping him up and hoping that a teammate can get there to help you, or just trying to wrap him up. And
right, the coaching point. Why is his feet not sitting at the goal line?
Don't know.
Why is he breaking towards the back of the end zone when Eskridge is sitting at about the 3 or 4 yard line? It makes no sense. He looks a little uncomfortable, and right now it's just a rookie trying to get his footing. But right now we need to make sure that we can keep ourselves head above water. And it seemed like Dante Johnson was the one that was doing that. According to the All-22 film, he was the one in the right positions.
True.
He was the one that understand the defense and where to be. And that's the most important thing, is being in the right spots at the right time. Right now, Dante Johnson's that guy. It doesn't mean Dante Johnson's a better athlete, a better player than those two guys, but right now he's playing the position better than they are.
That is actually accurate. Mooney or KJ Osborne, you got to go Mooney. You have to go Mooney. He's become.
I'm always going to go Darnell Mooney.
He's become wide receiver 1 with the Bears. It doesn't make any sense to go anyone else.
I love Darnell Mooney coming out.
Yeah, you did. You were a big fan. We have to stay with our formula, Ant. Run the ball, control time of possession, no penalties, no turnovers, and we can play against anybody. We have to stay focused. Any word on Debo and who is right tackle? Right tackle is Tom Compton. That's not even
Yeah, Tom Compton had himself a good game. He had
fantastic game.
2 pretty bad plays. I mean, those were rough. Especially the one for the safety where he got absolutely mowed over.
Carlos Dunlap
that was not good. And the sad part is, I've seen a lot of people saying Kyle should have ran it and just punted. George Kittle gets absolutely wide open. If Tom Compton can hold his water, they're going to throw the ball to George Kittle for what is a huge play. A huge first down. It could be all the way to the 50-yard line, and it could be midfield or even more, depending on George Kittle's space.
It was a situation where Kyle Shanahan, with the back against the wall, put his team to task and basically was like, you guys go make a play here. They think we're going to try and just get a first down or take something underneath, and we're going to take a shot. They had 4 long developing routes. It was 3 verticals and 1 inside crosser, 1 crosser coming from the outside like a dig. The dig gets covered by the safety, who comes down, and Kittle breaks on that seam route. He is wide open. There's a deep safety that has a chance to make a tackle. If not, George Kittle scores a touchdown. That's how open it was. I would question maybe a little bit of run early in that out of the shotgun. True.
Maybe that is something that they could have done a little bit different. But I'm just reaching a little bit here. I mean, everything is hindsight's 20/20, right?
Always 20/20.
Yeah. I mean, and we all know. I used to do the same thing. You get backed up like that. You run a play to get some sort of a cushion. You want to get out of that that area, so that way you don't have a safety sort of situation. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for the Niners.
David Bender, this is interesting, Ant. Did you guys see the video of Raheem Mostert's injury update 6 days ago?
You mean where he threw the crutches?
I did not see that.
He's walking again. Like he's back to walking. He's off his crutches, but he's progressing nicely.
Absolutely.
So I mean, he's on track to be ready to go next season, 100%.
Mostert back in the Bay?
I think so. I think they want him back. The question is, number one, is he going to? Where's the money's going to be at?
Where is his actual process at?
I honestly believe Raheem Moser deserves to get money because he's a good player. But, 2 straight years of injuries, the 49ers have to protect themselves also in this situation. So is somebody willing, are they like the New York Jets willing to throw money at him? I think Raheem Moser likes the culture here. I think he likes the team. I think he'll want to stay. He's a team leader. The question is, can they work the money out? And can the 49ers put the contract together where they don't take a big hit if he's injured again? Because him and Elijah Mitchell together is what we need in our lives.
Dangerous.
Yeah, that's what we need. Those two guys together is a dangerous running back group.
Well, you can't let, I mean, if your teams, you can stack as many guys around the line of scrimmage as you like. If you do that in Raheem Mostert's in the football game, you are asking for the 49ers O-line to execute their blocks one time to get to second level, and Mostert's gone.
If he gets to second level untouched,
it's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
There's no one catches him.
No.
He's that dynamic. So, yeah.
Agreed with you. The Jets will throw money at him
100%.
if they don't fire Saleh. They're not firing.
No. Saleh will be there for at least 4 years.
At least.
Yeah.
Unless the Jets are an absolute incompetent organization.
I have faith in Saleh. He's going to turn that program around.
I mean, they haven't. It hasn't been pretty, but they've gotten wins this year.
Still the first year, right? I mean, give it some time. They got a young quarterback. They got a young roster. And he's got to build this roster.
You also lost your best pass rusher before the season started.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to build this team the same way they built it in San Francisco, but it takes time.
100%.
Yeah.
All great things take time, man. That's the life lesson for everybody here on the Cutback, including myself. All great things take time. They all do. Did you see the Nick Bosa comments about Joe Burrow? Because I forgot they actually spent time together at Ohio State.
Oh, I did not know that.
I forgot that.
I knew they spent time together, but I didn't know he commented.
They're like apparently like good friends. I didn't know this.
Makes sense.
Bosa, we talked about this in the game plan video that Bosa's going to be extra excited to play in Ohio, right? Back where he played his college ball,
right.
Kind of where he's from and where what he kind of grew up doing. There's a big legacy there in Ohio with him. But Burrow apparently is a good buddy of his, so he's even more juiced to hit his friend. Yeah. So I'm excited about this. Now, I was already excited about it, but now it's going to get even spicier.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, he had something against Baker Mayfield, and he took care of business. So I can only imagine. Usually, you play your friends harder than you play your enemies.
I did 100% accurate.
Yeah, so you want to get out there, you want to prove it. You don't want them to hold anything against you. So yeah, I think Nick Bosa is going to get after it big time.
Agreed.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't have 2+ sacks in this.
I hope it's like
2+. I covered that.
And so yeah, you're right. I wasn't thinking about that. I just heard 2 and ignored the plus.
You're welcome.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
so that's what you're here for. No, that would be huge, man.
Yeah, 3 would be great. I would take that.
It would be great. You guys think Debo gonna be the MVP? No.
He's not a quarterback. If he was a quarterback, he would have a good shot at it.
If he threw just one touchdown pass.
Offensive player of the year, maybe.
I can see that.
If he comes back right now and he rolls off these next 5 games and he ends up with like 1,300 or 1,400 yards receiving, and he scores maybe like 3 or 4 more rushing touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, I think so. Especially if he could get 10 receiving touchdowns, like 7 or 8 rushing touchdowns. Offensive player of the year, lead the 49ers to the playoffs. 100% he could get offensive player of the year.
Agreed with you there. Brad, do you see Cones has piped back up because we lost? Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Stunned.
No, I mean,
surprised.
No one was surprised. I mean, it flipped back to the same narrative, right? It's all about we need Trey. This is what it's always going to be. I mean, it wasn't no different for his dad back in the day. We need Steve.
Next year, we need to come up with the Grant Cone play sheet for next year for the Cutback crew, so you can understand the narratives potentially each and every week before they come.
We could probably come up with a preview. Yeah, I think so.
I think that would be hilarious.
We were calling some of them before they ever.
Oh, we 100% did, but I think it would be hilarious to post that on the community page. Everyone has it and just kind of pin it there.
What if we just have the Cutback crew vote on what Grant Cone's next narrative will be?
Oh, that would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Should we start that today?
That'd be fun.
Should that become the new ritual on the Thursday?
Well, I think we should do it like after the win or loss. You know what I mean? Like let's start it next week. After they win or lose, we'll what is it?
The Cutback crew will get to vote on what the narrative is. We'll give you the options. You vote, and we'll see if you guys are right.
Yeah,
that's good. I like this.
It'll be fun.
It will be fun. It'll be fun. I always wanted to beat the crap out of both. That's true. What is the future of D Ford and your opinion on how Samson Ebukam has played for us from Jag? I'll start with Samson Ebukam because this is where most of my attention has been focused because D hasn't been available.
Thanks for taking the easy one.
No, thank you. You're welcome. Because the reality is that Samson Ebukam has been absolutely phenomenal. His development has been
recently
through the roof. The first half of the season was not great for Samson Ebukam.
He looked like a fish out of water.
Correct. He's still learning, and he's still learning how to be that guy in the system, how to play that base 4-3 down DN, how to be a base down pass rusher for the 49ers, like how to be a defensive end in the system. He's kind of figured it out. He's been phenomenal against the run. He's been doing a great job of creating pressures and getting back at the quarterback. Him and Nick Bosa met at Russell Wilson for that huge fumble loss. Actually, I think it was Armstead that did. But Ebukam took the double team on the interior. He made the interior move.
Right?
No, it was...
Oh, I'm talking about the big hit.
You're talking about the big hit. I'm talking about the fumble that ended up being like a 2nd and 40 or whatever it was.
You're right.
Ebukam stunts inside and eats 2 guys, and Armstead stunts around as that's coming through. And the reason why it works so well is Ebukam almost splits that double team, and they have to really work to make sure that he doesn't get through, and that frees up Armstead coming around on the stunt. But Ebukam has been phenomenal. His development has been phenomenal. The last 4 weeks for Samson Ebukam have been his 4 best games. I mean, he's just been stacking them on top of each other. And the funny part is, Andy, he's not getting a lot of love in certain things, in certain situations, and the stats aren't piling up because he's eating up guys or eating up blocks or getting around guys and getting to quarterbacks. Bosa gets there first. Armstead gets there first. Or DJ Jones gets there first in certain situations. He's still winning consistently. He just hasn't been the guy who's broken out yet.
He's a young pass rusher who's learning how to pass rush. He played 3-4, outside linebacker for the Rams, and that was what his development was. He had to cover. He had other responsibilities. Now he's learning to play with his hand in the ground. But what is invaluable to him is Darryl Tapp, the assistant defensive line coach who played in the NFL for 13 seasons and played at Virginia Tech. He's a very good, very skilled player. He's going to help develop Samson Ebukam, and Ebukam's showing development. If he wouldn't have showed consistent improvement over the season, I would be worried, but I'm really excited about him in year 2 and what he could possibly do. And I'm excited to see what he'll do over the next 5 games and in the playoffs. He might turn it on and be just what the 49ers need coming off the edge, because there's a lot of questions about Dee Ford.
Tons.
Dee Ford's back. Anytime it's a back, it's up in the air. Anything can set it off, sleeping wrong, just getting up and twisting in the wrong direction, eating something that doesn't sit right can affect your back.
Not properly hydrated, too much water. I mean...
So it is up in the air. I'm hopeful that Dee Ford is going to be able to get out there and produce, especially this stretch run and in the playoffs. If he does, this 49ers defensive line goes from absolutely fantastic to absolutely elite. That is the difference that he sets. That first step is one of the best in the NFL. Him and Nick Bosa together, it's like a track meet who can get to the quarterback first.
And they're always competing. They're always competing with each other to be the first guy there. Itty-bitty South City, 650. Wilson Jr. designated as healthy. Start him. Do you have other options? Because if you have other options, I may tell you no. If you don't have
a fantasy thing.
If you don't have any other options, then as a flex, potentially. So let me know if you have any other options. Brad Jones, didn't Joe Staley call Cohn's question dumb in the post-game show on NBC? I think he did.
I do not know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I like it. That's what we need, a celebrity boxing match, Joe Staley and Grant Cohn.
Who would win, Alex?
I don't know, but I'd like to see Cohn take one right in the schnoz. Would you guys ever do a live debate with Cohns?
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Why not?
100,000%.
Yeah. We'll do a live debate with anyone. I would love to get Grant Cohn on an episode of Face Off. Let's put Grant Cohn on Face Off.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, it'd be fun. And we
can bring Jason Aponte in and let Jason Aponte be the official.
Yeah.
With you being
let John Chapman be the official.
Yeah, let John be the official. That'd be good.
John will call it down the middle.
He will call it down the middle.
Yeah.
Brad Jones, preseason Cones bingo before training camp.
Oh, I love that.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
We go live as Cone goes live. We have Cone's feed up and we're playing bingo while Cone is live streaming.
I like that.
That is Inception levels of great content.
That is. I mean, Cohn is wonderful to watch at training camp as well, because we saw him there. And you can just see his little smirk. He gets like the Grinch look.
Something happens.
He gets like the little Grinch look, and then like goes right to his phone. You're like, uh-oh, here we go.
He's tweeting something, he's writing something down.
Remember we made the meme of Grant Cohn. He's about to come up with some sort of narrative.
Yep. Grant Cohn figuring out his next narrative for the 49ers.
Hey, you can see
after watching that incompletion for Jimmy Garoppolo.
I'm going to give him credit. He comes up with some stuff. Like, he's got a creative mind.
He does, and then there's also times where that creative mind doesn't get flowing and he starts stretching.
Oh, well, the stretching is part of it. Because there are people that stretch with him, so, I mean, he does it big.
He does do it big.
Yeah.
I can't knock him.
Yeah.
He does it huge.
It's interesting.
Pulling big, huge numbers, lots of viewers.
I mean, we don't think the same, but, I mean...
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, but there always has to be somebody like that, so...
Pat Jones, middle box on the bingo, Big Mike suck. It's a free square, or start Trey Lance if Jimmy is back next year, which would be, man, that would talk about sending people into a tissy.
Dave Bender's good with Chapman being the ref.
All right, good. Yeah, I think that's a good call.
The only thing we could go. I mean, I would love to do that. The only thing else would be Lombardi versus Cone, with one of us being the ref.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you could be the official. I just get to be the fan. I just want to be. I'll be at the top of the screen.
Spreadsheet against the narrative.
Boo! 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 The whole time.
Well, yeah, I think that would be interesting as well.
It would be fun. That would be fun. Jag, after seeing a good sample size of Talanoa Hufanga, will he be starting next year? And will Tart be back? This is tough.
I think they still try to bring Tart back, and they make Hufanga earn the starting spot in training camp. But I think Hufanga's improved enough that next year, if Hufanga's a starting guy, I think we can feel comfortable with it. Right now, the things that Tart does better than Hufanga, number one, this is crazy to think, he plays better in the box than Hufanga does.
Way better.
And he's better in coverage.
Yeah.
But Hufanga is developing. Hufanga's got to learn the run fits where there was one play in this last game where Jaquiski Tart is about 7 yards off the ball and flies in for the run fit and absolutely demolishes it.
At the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Just demolishes the play.
You don't see that.
No, Jaquiski Tart is very good. The problem with Tart is availability. He just can't stay healthy. If he could, he would be one of the better safeties in the league. Right. Because they would stack performances, and then he would finally get the recognition like Jimmy Ward is starting to get. True. Yeah.
You're not wrong, Ant. You're not wrong. Brad D is done at the end of the season. Wish it was something different. He might be. If he's, I mean, it really comes down to where he feels his body is at and what he feels like he has to do in order to stay healthy. If he has to have another surgery, it's going to be most likely fusion surgery on that neck area to help with that back. And that probably does it for him.
I think he's trying to avoid surgeries.
He's 100% trying to avoid surgery.
Yeah.
100%. Let's see here. Chat. Ooh, $5 super chat from James Vega. Let's tame these kitty cats.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to turn the Bengals back into the Bungles, Ant.
Yeah.
I'm all good for the Bungles.
Yeah, I'm good for it, too.
Give me the Bungles.
Yeah.
Pump the Bungles straight into my veins.
Let's go ahead and take care of Heathcliff. I don't know how many people were Garfield or Heathcliff people. Did anyone watch Heathcliff?
I watched a little bit of Heathcliff, but the minute you said Heathcliff, I just think Garfield.
Yeah.
So I knew what you were talking about.
Heathcliff is completely different from Garfield.
Accurate. Not even close to the same.
Yeah, I enjoyed Heathcliff.
My brother's a big Garfield guy.
Of course he is.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. I know other things that he's a big fan of. There's memes about him too. Which I still need to send you, by the way.
Yeah, I need it because I got it. We're gonna do early Christmas this year because we're sending me to Tennessee.
That's right.
During the whole thing, and I'm gonna stay with Mike Vrabel at his house.
Yeah.
So the Cutback crew. There's spoilers for you. I'll be in Tennessee staying with Mike Vrabel. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Totally gonna be a lot of fun.
Dude, do you think X would like if we send him a full poster size picture of that?
Oh,
meme?
he will hate it.
Yeah.
Dude, I know a guy. All right, we'll get on that. That'll be funny. That'll be so great. What a Christmas present that'll be.
Yeah.
But I'll be on Mike Vrabel's house.
Did Caleb just call him Telemundo Hufungus? And then said he's a dog. I'm wondering, is that spell check, or is that just K&DR being K&DR?
Probably K&DR being K&DR, because Troy Opke is the people's quarterback.
Oh, that's right. I saw that.
Good old.
Interesting thumbnail additions, by the way. Well
the
done,
memes?
sir.
Yeah, I figured the memes would be a good thing.
Yeah, that was fun. Anytime I see Napoleon Dynamite on there, I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
It's always a good time. Yeah. Darwin Gonzalez, should the 49ers have packages for Lance? They do have packages for Lance.
Yeah, they just don't run them.
Yeah.
We were proponents. We're going to be very honest with you, Darwin. We were proponents of a 2-quarterback system where we saw more of Trey Lance during games. And I think Kyle Shanahan wanted to do that. And it threw him off in his rhythm. And that is a problem, because when you do get in a rhythm as a play caller, it can get real easy. As someone that was a play caller, Alex, you were a play caller. When you're flowing sometimes, it's just like boom, 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 and you don't want to get out of that rhythm. And so you want to keep those same pieces in that you really know, and I'm going to do this, and this is going to set up this, and
it's full autopilot.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the first time I experienced it was the game against, man, I think it was McNair. It was McNair, where we needed to go down the field to score at the end. I think we're at our own 20. We needed an 80-yard drive to score. I mean, we had been stifled in the second half. You I kind of talked to you a little bit, and you said go to the things that have been not only been working, but that you think they can execute well against the front you're seeing. The first 2 plays dialed up really well. We got 4-yard chunk run, 5-yard chunk run. It's 3rd and short. I'd been going heavy run, and I dialed up essentially what was a quick. We called it a quick H screen, a quick H corner is what we called it. So you had a fly motion action. You got the fly motion going. Quarterback took the snap out of pistol. He fakes it. And then we show this little smoke screen look that we had run earlier in the game that we had set up a lot.
Is that the one you hit Gabe?
Yeah,
okay,
on that little corner route. You remember that play? Yeah. I dialed that up. I was like, I think this could work. And you were like, hey, if you're feeling it, go with it. And as soon as we called that play, we got like a 20, 30-yard play on that. And all of a sudden, momentum shifted. And I remember going to the mic to talk to you about what to go next. And you said, you're in the zone, just go.
Go, yeah.
That's all you said, and I didn't go to the mic the rest of the drive, and we just marched all the way down the field and punched one in at the end with like 20-something seconds left to win that football game. And I remember like getting done and being like, dude, what did I call? That sometimes it's almost like you just get into this point where you're just operating on autopilot. You trust what you're seeing, your guys are executing, and everything is just going. And yeah, sometimes going to another quarterback, another look, different personnel groupings, it can kind of mess with that, especially if things are moving and flowing so effortlessly.
Trick plays also do that.
Oh, yeah.
If you put in a trick play, and I've seen Kyle run a little bit of a trick play this week, and that can mess you up as well. So you got to make sure you're taking precautions with that, because those plays and negative plays can throw you off your game and your rhythm. So I get it. I mean, would I like to see Trey Lance in packages? Absolutely, I would. But if it's throwing Kyle off, then he really shouldn't do that.
Agreed with you on that. All right, 3 solid, or at least 2 solid questions here, and I didn't get to Brad's yet. So start with Jags. Are you feeling confident that Banks will take over at right guard for Brunskill, and who do you think will be our right tackle moving forward?
So I am confident that there will be a new right guard next year.
Agreed.
That is about as confident as I am in Aaron Banks, because I haven't seen it. And until I see it, I'm not going to tell you 100%. Now, next year when we get to training camp, I plan on being at training camp.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to watch Aaron Banks. And if Aaron Banks is improved like I think he's going to, then he should be the guy.
Yeah.
The question is, who will be the tackle next year, right tackle? It's going to be Mike McGlinchey. Mike McGlinchey will be the right tackle, barring them deciding to move Mike McGlinchey to right guard, which I don't think they're going to do. I think McGlinchey's going to be the right tackle. Then there's going to be a battle between Banks and Moore for right guard. And I think they're going to retain the rights to Laken Tomlinson. I think they're going to try to bring him back. That way they're only worried about one position. Also, they're going to draft another offensive lineman, whether that's a guard or a tackle. I would guess it's an offensive tackle, so that way they can go with a Jalen Moore playing on the inside. But Jalen Moore has to get used to playing on the right side. He's very comfortable playing on the left side, but you can tell when he's on the right side, he struggles a little bit. And this is what I've been talking about early on when he was first going to right tackle. There's a huge adjustment going from left tackle to right tackle or right tackle to left tackle. It's less of an adjustment on the interior. So there are some questions on the offensive line, but yeah, I think that it should be Banks, but will it be? And I wouldn't even be shocked if they don't draft somebody to compete with him as well.
I think you're going to need to, because he hasn't developed yet quite the way you thought he was going to, I think, at this point.
No, they thought he was going to be starting at this point.
I agree.
100%. They thought he was going to, they knew he was developmental, but they thought he was going to develop faster than he has.
I thought it was going to be Brunskill up until about this time this season,
right,
where Banks would have shown you enough and you gotten him in and gotten him some opportunities and he was doing something at practice, and then he would be able to take over, and they're just not there yet with it. David, are you guys confident going against Cincy? We went up against Seattle, who many regarded as trash. 100% I'm confident against Cincinnati, because there's one thing that I knew about the Seattle Seahawks is that they had Russell Wilson. And despite their injuries and what was going on, Russell can still cook. Russ can still do the things he needs to do. The big thing was always going to be, do the 49ers execute at the same level? And they didn't. They didn't execute at the same level. They didn't take care of the football.
It doesn't matter how trash your rival is. It's still a rivalry.
100%.
And this used to happen to the 49ers all the times with New Orleans, Atlanta, when they were in the NFC West. The 49ers should have beaten the Aints, and the Aints would be right there with them. This is what happens in rivalry games. That's why when we picked the game, we picked the Niners to win, but we picked it really close. And we even said it was going to be scary games.
I was the only one who didn't. I actually picked a blowout, but that was because I thought this was going to be the moment where we finally got over the Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Okay.
Russell Wilsoning.
I picked it 27-23 49ers.
I think it was like 34-13.
I thought it was going to be a 4-point game. I thought this was going to be a close one. With Seattle, there's no blowouts in the 49ers' favor. There's just none. I'm hoping maybe we get a no Russell Wilson, a no Pete Carroll down the line. Maybe there'll be maybe that'll change the fortunes of the 49ers in Seattle.
Possibly.
But so far it hasn't worked out. So Cincinnati's a different matchup, different players, different way to go at it. But I'm confident the 49ers can win. I think it's going to be a tough battle, though. Cincinnati's a good football team.
True. Hey, Handy our collectibles. Why is Brunskill number 7 in Pro Bowl votes? Oh, God.
He's number 7 in Pro Bowl votes.
Apparently for the O-line.
Faithful's going for it. I mean,
maybe it's because he owns Aaron Donald.
Well, where's Trent Williams now? Because Trent Williams was 8 for a while.
Oh God, let me look.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened there.
I'm gonna pull that up. And
Darwin Gonzalez says, should we draft a corner early next year? Who's a good replacement for Alex Mack? As far as corner goes in the draft, this is something we've been talking about for a little while. We actually got asked this once before, is we have to wait and see where the 49ers are going to be picking and then which corners are going to be kind of in that range. Last year, we knew that it was going to be possibly Asante Samuel Jr. or someone that we really liked a lot was Paulson Adebo. Those were guys that we targeted. We also targeted the Washington guy. What was his name? The nickel guy.
Elijah Molden.
Thank you. Those were guys that were kind of in that hot spot.
All of whom are starting.
And Paulson Adebo was our favorite guy. Asante Samuel, I watched so many games of him at Florida State. I felt comfortable with him playing in the slot, not so much on the outside. That's why Adebo was our number 1 outside guy in that range. So it's all going to depend on where the 49ers are picking and which players are available, because you can get a good corner round 2, round 3, round 4, and even Diameter Lenore round 5, someone that's going to develop. But I think that they will try to get someone in round 2, 3, or 4, depending on where they're picking. But it all goes, where are their guys going to be? And the other thing is, are they going to be drafting for need, or are they going to be drafting just the best player available? If they bring back Jason Verrett, Emmanuel Moseley will be back. It's a lot of those things are going to go in. Do they go out and get a Stephon Gilmore? All of that's going to play into where they draft a corner, if they draft a corner, in next year's draft.
Correct, Ant. It's tough too, because corner may just be a position you're not good at drafting. You may just not have an idea of what requisite skill sets are necessary, or what the IQ level is for each guy in order to
Except they did want Paulson Adebo.
They did want Paulson Adebo.
So I mean, that means they recognize that.
They did. So maybe they're not as bad at drafting corners as people think, and maybe it's not a problem. It's just been hitting on the guys that you want to hit on. That's been the issue. So if you're the 49ers, I mean, going after a corner is huge. I think also going after potentially not only just more offensive linemen, but maybe some more linebackers.
Yeah,
some linebacker depth would be nice.
You think we need more linebackers with Aziz, with Greenlaw, Fred Warner, the way Flanagan fouls?
Well, the way Flanagan fouls is played.
Marcel Harris recently.
Maybe not.
Yeah,
but who knows?
Yeah, and then Alex Mack. If Alex Mack wants to come back next year, I would say you roll with Alex Mack. But I do think you look at drafting a center, because I think a preconceived notion, and even I was one of those ones that believed it, was that Daniel Brunskill could develop enough to play center once Alex Mack left. I no longer believe that. I don't think Daniel Brunskill is good enough to be the starting center for the 49ers. We have to go out and get a center in this draft, and I would love for him to have 1 year playing behind Alex Mack, because in Kyle Shanahan's system, the left tackle is the most important position, then the right tackle, then the center. But really, it comes down to that left tackle and center spot. They need a very valuable player there. So that's why they went out and they got the guys that they got when they first got there. Weston Richburg was someone they brought in to play center right away, because they knew they needed to improve that position. Alex Mack's an improvement. If he comes back, you roll with him for 1 more year, but you need to get an heir apparent in this next draft.
100%. You need to address it, whether that's drafting it or whether there's some sort of free agent guy out there that you really like.
Very true. You can go with that. You can go that route.
That route is also a possibility. I think those are all really good opportunities there. What are the chances that if Jimmy gets us into the playoffs and wins 1 playoff game, will that be enough for him to be brought back?
Nope.
No, it's Super Bowl or Jimmy's gone.
Even Super Bowl, I think
Super Bowl is. Yes, I agree.
Me and you have had this conversation. If he doesn't win a Super Bowl, he's for sure gone. If he wins a Super Bowl, there's a hesitation, but the amount of draft capital you could probably get for him would be hard not to go on. But will Kyle Shanahan feel the pressure from the roster? This is the part where I hadn't thought about it before, but I think it ultimately plays into it now. Will this roster look at Kyle Shanahan, look at John Lynch, and be like, hey, we need to run it back. Everyone come back. Let's run this back. We have a chance for another Super Bowl. And at that point, do they decide that they want to sign Jimmy Garoppolo to an extension to move his money down the line and where they run it another year and see. I don't know. But I think it should be Trey Lance time, but I don't know for sure. I haven't seen Trey Lance practice either.
That's also.
But I think there will be some pressure if they win the Super Bowl, 100%.
100%. And there should be. There should be a little bit of pressure. You should be at least considering it.
I love that kind of pressure. If they can win a Super Bowl, hey, making the wrong decision at quarterback, I'm okay with at that point. We got one.
True. Brad Jones here. The rock, paper, scissors meme of the Rams, Niners, and Seahawks is the best way to sum up the NFC West.
Bingo.
Not wrong.
There's ownage all kinds of different ways. It's funny.
KNDR Collectibles, he is still 8.
Wow.
I'm trying to find like the actual. Where did you pull that up at, Caleb? Let me know.
I always just go down the Twitter. People be posting it all the time.
Oh, look at that. Well, then there's that.
Yeah.
There's always that. Is special teams execution a concern or their coach? Probably a little both.
I think it's execution. I think in the punt, the fake punt situation, that's on the coach. Situational also about not kicking it in the end zone on kickoff. That's on the coach. But then there's also Robbie Gould missing, missed tackles, those sort of things, not staying in your lanes. Those are also execution. So it's a combination of both. But yeah, they're gonna have to step up in a big way because they need to take care of business against the Bengals.
Yeah. You have to take care of business against the Bengals. So coach is going to have to make some adjustments, and the guys are going to have to execute. But David, also a lot of things last week were also due to the fact that the 49ers were not rolling out their A special teams unit.
Not even close.
A lot of those guys were starting on the defense and doing other things on the offense. So that also doesn't help. Doesn't help at all. You think the Niners defense can keep up with the turnovers this weekend? 100%. 100%. If there's a week that they can do it, it's this week.
Yeah, I think so. And we don't know about the finger of Joe Burrow.
Burrow was limited today in practice. So he had a limited practice in today. He was a DNP on Wednesday. Just because he's limited, though, doesn't mean anything. And he is going to be playing through, I think it was at the very minimum, a dislocation and a nasty one.
Oh, no, it was a dislocation.
It was a nasty one.
Yeah, it's a dislocation, and he's also going to be playing in probably cold weather there in Ohio.
You got to imagine.
It's going to be a little bit different throwing that football. It's going to come off his hand a little bit odd. He did throw 2 interceptions against the Chargers, so maybe he'll be a little off target in this game.
True. Jag, why is Hightower still coaching for us? Who else is going to coach it? Who's the other name? That's what I would ask.
I think we actually can get it into the end zone. They've chosen not to get it into the end zone.
And that's a Hightower decision. And
ultimately a Kyle Shanahan decision.
Because he's the one signing off on it.
100%. When he goes in the game plan, he says, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to operate. And Kyle Shanahan says, yeah, let's do that. You feel confident that we can make those tackles?
Well, here's the thing, though, too. I also think they thought the way the special teams have been covering is, up until about the Minnesota game, it was okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. The Kylan Hill, I'm not talking about Kylan.
I'm just saying there's been moments all year.
There have been moments, but it hasn't been like consistent. Every week there hasn't been one.
No.
So I think this one of the things that's changed too is the non-holding calls on special teams. The last 2 weeks of film that we've watched of all 22 film, it's been atrocious.
Yeah.
There was one this week where Charlie Warner literally split 2 Seattle Seahawks. He runs right through the double team, and he is through it. We're watching it, and Charlie Warner is coming in right to where the hole is going to be, that where whoever it is that's returning kicks ends up getting out down the sideline on a long one, and he's literally going through, and all of a sudden he gets vacuum sucked back in and ends up behind the 2 guys that he just split because they both grabbed him and pulled him back, and there's no call. And it's like, oh, okay, that's not good. But again, if you're Hightower, you're watching film. You're seeing the holdings happening, and you're seeing guys not getting off blocks. If they're not going to call holding when there's holding, don't put your guys in that situation. Just kick it out of the end zone.
Yeah, if you kick it out of the end zone every single time, I can guarantee you there won't be a return for touchdown. It's that simple.
It's true.
Take the thinking out of it. What are you going to get, +5? +3? Are those what you need in those situations? With the risk involved not only to players' health, but also the thought of them getting a big gain, flipping momentum, because that's really what it comes down to. It changes momentum. Even if they get past the 30-yard line, the special teams feel like they won, and then that offense comes out with a little momentum and a little
swag.
Yeah, they do, and that changes the game a little bit. You need to keep these guys down and just make sure there's no momentum shift on those special teams plays.
Yeah. Just yes.
I seen Darwin Gonzalez says, I don't have confidence in Rich Scangarello as quarterback coach. I'm curious, Darwin, just leave it in the chat. Why?
What exactly has Scangarello done, or what are you seen or not seen?
Because Scangarello was there when Jimmy first got there, and Scangarello was a big reason why Jimmy got going so well. Then he went to Denver, and he was offensive coordinator there, and then eventually he was gone. And as soon as he was available, Kyle pounced on it. But I mean, he had Mullins playing better than Mullins played once he was gone. I am curious. I know that there are some people that really don't like Scangarello.
I would like to know. I just want to know why, because a lot of times when I hear that they don't like Scangarello, it's just that I don't hear a lot of explanation as to why. I did have one person who I engaged with in a Facebook post about this. He said, Scangarello's got to go, and I was like, why? And he said, well, Trey's not ready. And it's like, okay, well, Trey's a rookie. What rookie quarterback is ready? He said Mac Jones, and I was like, dude. And this was after the Bills game, after the game where he threw 3 passes. Like, bro, he just threw 3 passes.
Well, I think everyone knew, right? Mac Jones was more ready to play right now than Trey Lance.
That was never the concern. That was never the issue with Mac Jones. Mac Jones was always ceiling.
It's ceiling.
What's the ceiling?
Trey Lance's ceiling is MVP of the league. Mac Jones's ceiling is, top 10 quarterback.
Glorified game manager.
I mean, top 10 quarterback. Closer to 10, but I mean, Trey Lance has the ability to be a transcendent player. Right. Mac Jones has the ability to be a very good player. I think those are the difference.
Oh, you don't trade up to 3 for a very good player, and you trade up for 3 for a transcendent player.
100%.
But this was my comment to him. It was just like, I said, well, if Mac Jones was so ready and is so great, why did the Patriots only throw the ball 3 times?
Yeah.
He was like, well, did you see that weather? And I was like, yeah, I saw the weather. I also saw Josh Allen slinging it in that weather. Threw a crazy back shoulder pass to Stephon Diggs. Yeah. Back shoulder in that weather. Why isn't Mac Jones doing that?
Well, he doesn't have that arm. Remember?
Because he's not that type of quarterback.
Well, Kendrick Bourne said he throws pillows. Remember? He literally said Jimmy Garoppolo throws a harder pass than Mac Jones.
Mac Jones throws pillows. Is that why Kendrick Bourne is catching the football?
Kendrick Bourne's having a good season.
Because he's catching the football.
Yeah, well, he's catching pillows.
He needed to catch pillows. Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
There you go.
There it is.
100%. Nothing wrong with that. KNDR says, who do you guys have winning the national championship?
Oof. Tough. College football's been weird this year.
It's going to be an SEC national championship game.
I have a feeling also.
Yeah. It's going to be a rubber match. Bama and Georgia. Oh, no, it's not a rubber match. It's the second time they're playing.
Second time, yeah.
It's hard to beat someone twice.
It truly is. Unless you're Nick Saban against Tim Tebow.
Well, and also against former coaches.
True.
He owns former coaches.
Does.
So I mean, I would put the advantage towards Bama in that game. Plus I got Bryce and from Matter Day, so it's kind of my guy.
It's kind of your dude.
Yeah, I like rooting for those guys. If JT was playing for Georgia, then I'd have some problems because I really like him too. I watched him play in person. He's fantastic as well.
True. David Bender, Kurt Warner did an analysis of Garoppolo's reads, and it looked pretty bad. Should I be concerned being so far in with his development?
Jimmy is who Jimmy is. I mean, he's not going to get that much better, but seeing things after the fact, like watching it on film is one thing. Knowing what the actual concept is a completely different thing.
And Kurt knows that.
He knows.
He knows that.
Did Jimmy miss people in this game?
100%.
Absolutely.
Has he missed people the last couple of weeks?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, every quarterback misses people. Joe Montana missed people. Steve Young missed people.
Tom Brady misses people a lot, too. He's missed, the more Tom Brady film I watched this year, he's missing more reads than he ever has.
Well, and part of it, too, is when you're reading, you're going through a progression, is sometimes a guy open at 4, he's not going to get there in time. Especially, there's all kinds of other things that go into like pass rush and everything.
We break this down in the All-22 film. I mean, with the All-22 film, it was released part 1 once part 2 comes out tonight, but part 1 went up already on Patreon, and there's some times where we talk about this guy's wide open right here, but then we start going through the play and it's like it's pretty obvious this guy's the check down, right? This is his last read. He's going through 1, he's going through 2, and he's seen 2, and so he's going to 2. There's a reason why he's not going here. Just like there's people been breaking down this 49ers game and Jimmy Garoppolo not throwing to Brandon Ayuk when Brandon Ayuk is open, and it's like except based on the concept and what you're seeing here, George Kittle comes open here. Kyle Juszczyk comes open here. This is read 1. If read 1's open, you're throwing read 1. You're not throwing read 2. It doesn't make sense.
100% of the time. I mean, Bill
let me pass up on read 1.
Mad if you went past read 1.
You're going to get benched.
You're going to get screamed at.
If I scheme up a play to get a guy open, he's open, and you don't capitalize on it, you go do your own thing. You're not playing. You're sitting. Yeah,
you know what you do? This is what happens. When I used to coach, and I'd have a guy that maybe would make a big play, and he would misread 1. Guy was wide open. I'd walk up to him and be like, great throw. Now throw it to the guy I told you to throw it to. And that's what you're going to get from Kyle Shanahan. Hey, great play. Now do what I want you to do because it's not always going to be there next time.
No.
And so you have to take what's there. Do I think Jimmy misses guys? Yes. Do I think Jimmy makes mistakes? Yes. But every NFL quarterback does. And as a middle-of-the-road quarterback, Jimmy's somewhere around 15 to 18, somewhere in there. He's going to do that. I mean, that's why you win and got Trey Lance, because you think he could be one of those elite top 5 quarterbacks in the league
down the road.
And he's got to learn to not miss those guys. But guess what he was doing in Arizona? Missing those guys
everywhere.
But Kyle Shanahan schemed it up, because in this game, there were situations where it was fun watching the guys who were breaking down film get worked up because there would be like multiple guys open.
Bro, he didn't throw it to B.I. Look, B.I.'s getting frustrated. He's skipping. Yeah, that was the first down. It was a 10-yard completion.
Yeah, 100%. It's like when you have two guys open, pick your poison. And I think it's funny that people were struggling with that. So, well, he should have done this, but I don't want to be too critical. Oh, but he should have.
He shouldn't have.
No, what was his first read? That's who he's going to.
That's what he's throwing
Bingo.
to. Darwin, do you think if the 49ers draft another QB, they would be sitting a full year 100%? You had Jimmy for a reason.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
the only person that wasn't sitting a full year was Mac Jones, and the Niners would have moved off of Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't think so. I think he would have sat too.
You think so?
100%.
All right.
I mean, because Kyle Shanahan has talked about rookie quarterbacks running his system.
That's also true.
Remember, the Patriots run a very simplistic system compared to what Kyle Shanahan runs.
Well, especially right now.
Yeah, they've dumbed it down 100%.
It's been 100%. Dumbed down.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the 49ers planned on starting a rookie quarterback this year. I think they always planned on having a bridge quarterback, and I think Jimmy Garoppolo is that guy. I think if they could have, I honestly do believe they were flirting with Andy Dalton, and if they could have gotten Andy Dalton to come in for less money, if you can get him to come in for $10 million, and then you save, the $15+ million on Jimmy Garoppolo, and you can use those as other pieces, I think they would have been tempted by that. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a better quarterback than Andy Dalton, but Andy Dalton stays healthy more than Jimmy Garoppolo does.
Also,
and that's really what it comes down to. This hasn't been about Jimmy's play ultimately as much as it's been about his health.
It's always been his health, man.
Yeah,
it's always been his
health.
Yeah. Have you guys had any gyros yet?
No, I haven't had no gyro.
Not at the moment.
No
gyros.
I'm gonna have wonderful taco truck in a little while.
Are you for real having taco truck tonight?
Yeah, Jessica's picking me up some taco truck on her way in. Yeah, excited.
I'm excited. I crashed date night.
All right. You want taco truck? She'll probably pick you up taco truck.
No, I'm good. It's fine. Jessica, if you're watching this, don't get taco.
She's going to La Picosetta.
Right down the street.
Yeah.
Dude, I might go to La Picosetta now. Just for that.
Pretty good, man.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good. Phenomenal.
It's like the number one in town.
In town, absolutely. It doesn't get better than La Picosetta.
It doesn't.
No, it does not. So no gyros. The Picosetta. Yes.
Yeah.
See.
And no Twinkies either for Tommy Huxley.
No,
I don't do
sorry,
the Twinkies.
Tommy. Sorry, Tommy. Apologize about that. Oh, my cutback crew. A few more questions. Let's get them in now while they're hot. Get us a couple more. We'll take a handful more questions, and then we're gonna wrap this up for the night. We got to go get what's good going with Jay here for tomorrow. Actually everything else is done. Ant, look at that. Everything else is ready for the Friday Frenzy. Friday Frenzy is looking hot.
And Jess says she's watching. She said I'm definitely watching.
Okay, so. Jess is definitely watching.
Yeah.
Don't pick me up, La Picosetta, please.
Yeah.
Gracias.
David Bender says, "What's the odds of Brady leaving Tampa and retiring with us as the last chapter?"
Not good.
Slim to none. I think the only veteran quarterback at this point would be Aaron Rodgers. That would be it. I think the fact the 49ers were willing to call before they made the trade for Trey Lance means he's a guy they still value at that level. And other than that, I don't think they would. I don't think they would go Tom Brady. 45-year-old Tom Brady doesn't sound very good.
It doesn't sound as good as 35-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Well, 38-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Bad, 38. Try to give him 3 years.
You trim some time off, yeah.
Just a little bit. Did you hear that Steve Young talking about wanting to play for Kyle?
No, I didn't hear that. I'll have to go and check that out, Shooter. I'll listen to that because I am curious.
Yeah, definitely curious. Yeah. Definitely curious. All right, one more. Ooh,
who's gonna have the less question?
Who gets it in? Cutback crew. I'm sweating with anticipation. It's not because of the lighting in here.
Yeah,
it's definitely the anticipation from the question.
100% the anticipation.
Oh man, it's almost like
Tommy had a comment.
Oh, Tommy had a comment.
Yeah, he called Aaron Rodgers an a-hole.
Oh, why? Tommy, that's not nice. Huh. How would you do that?
I mean, yeah, he could be an a-hole. As long as he wins football games, who cares?
Oh, he's also a co-owner of the Bears.
Oh, true.
He co-owns.
I was listening to
Wikipedia.
I was listening to Spotify the other day, and they were talking about buying into the Packers. Like you can own part of the Packers, because they're publicly traded.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I want to own the Packers.
I thought there were stipulations though. Didn't you have to live in?
I don't know, but they were off. It was on Spotify, and I was listening to it.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Oh,
that's not a good one.
Collectibles, you're a big jerk. It hasn't even been released yet. Why would you? Yeah. Why would you say that?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I got worked in Madden.
Spoiler alert.
I got worked in the Madden League against Drew.
Shocked.
I mean, Drew's pretty solid, and I went a little too conservative early in the game, trying to figure out his coverage scheme, what he was doing, and I did exactly what I wanted to do. I got him into 3rd and longs, got him into 4th downs. There was just one problem. He went for it on all the 4th downs, and I didn't stop a single one of them.
Jag has a good question.
All right, let's see it.
If Jimmy leaves and Trey starts next year and we go 5-12, would us as 49ers fans be patient enough to get through the growing pains?
Nope. I'm going to say at least 50% of the fan base is going to lose their mind and blame Kyle Shanahan, because if they had started him last year, he wouldn't be doing this right now.
Well, that's 100% accurate. I think there's a big portion of the 49ers fan base that would be very upset. I would understand their struggles. I would be a little bit disappointed, but more understanding because he's still developing as a quarterback. However, that would definitely put Kyle Shanahan firmly in the hot seat, and he would have one season to get it done. So they would have to win in that 2023 season, and if they didn't, Kyle Shanahan would be hitting the road. So that's not good.
It's not good.
I did see Tommy Huxley said he misses garbage pail kids.
He does.
Well done.
Darwin, who are your Super Bowl favorites? Still the 49ers. Still.
Yeah, I think we answered this last week.
Still the Niners.
I think somebody asked this last week, right?
I said from the AFC, the Pats currently.
Yeah.
And because the Niners in the playoffs, I'm going to go with the Niners. But if it's not the Niners, then if you put a gun to my head and said, pick a team, Alex, pick someone that's not. Don't be a homer for 5 seconds. I'd tell you to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think that the Chiefs might be the AFC team.
Definitely. I mean, they're getting hot at the right time.
Yeah,
they are.
Or the Dolphins. Who knows?
Talk about a team getting hot at the right time. Holy cow! What 1-7 to 5-7? No, 1-7 to they're 6-7.
Yeah, they're on their way up.
My Lord, 6 straight.
Here come the Dolphins and Bills. Better start winning, or the Dolphins are going to catch them and make the playoffs.
Who would have thought that at the beginning of the year?
Exactly.
My goodness gracious. Who is going to have the most rush yards on Sunday for San Francisco? Jimmy Garoppolo.
Brian Hill.
I mean, I would say, I say Jeff Wilson's going to probably get the most touches, so he's going to get the most yards.
Jeff Wilson Jr.
Yeah, I think that's
a
safe bet there. Cutback crew. That's it. That's it for the live stream, the Q&A. We're done. That's a wrap. All the news in your face. We're ready for it. Don't miss Friday Frenzy tomorrow. Do not miss it. It starts off with a banger of a Madden simulation, an absolute banger. It is an absolute glorious game from start to finish. It lags a little bit in the middle. I won't lie. It drags a little bit in the middle, but the finish makes up for all of it. It is an absolutely incredible finish. I won't tell you which way it goes. Just know it is dramatic. It is suspenseful. It is absolutely phenomenal. Don't miss out on the Madden Sim. Don't miss out on the game preview. Just don't miss the Friday Frenzy. What's good with Jay in the Bay? Know your opponent. All of that good stuff tomorrow. Man, they got themselves a long, eventful-filled, content, incredible, directly into their veins day.
Well, you don't want to miss the game preview, too, because we get all into all the key matchups and everything. But plus, there's a special guest that joins us for Lock It Up and the end of the show and breaks down the game even further.
And their name is not the Azorian one. It's a different special guest.
It's a different special guest.
It's a curve guest.
Yeah, the Cutback crew will be very excited once they see who it is.
Oh, absolutely. You're gonna love the guest tomorrow. So make sure you're here for all of it. Cutback crew. We cannot thank you enough. And I think it's time.
It is that time. So Alex, let's chalk another one up.
9 a.m. Madden Simulation. We'll see you tomorrow, Cutback crew.